And somebody told me that shortly before somebody dies, the power, in fact, the first thing to knock is the speech nerve. He can be looking at you, he can still be hearing you, but he cannot talk again. Satan is that smart. So when death comes, he goes to the one that can give you the energy to repel. He shut it down first. Once that aspect is shut down, he will begin to invade other areas of that person's life. Nobody fights well who does not know how to fight with tongues. Nobody wins. As a matter of fact, you win in real battle if you win in speaking. If you had failed in speaking, don't bother going to that war. You will fail. You will fail. These are not new teachings. These are ancient secrets. For instance, if you want to check how did David engage Goliath, Goliath saw a small boy coming unshielded, unguarded, unarmed. Because David was not armed, he was carrying a sling. Goliath didn't go to engage that boy, but Goliath is a general. He is a man who has been fighting from his youth. He knew how wars are fought. You know what Goliath did? Goliath waited and began to use words to attack David first. He said, "Am I a dog that you're coming to fight me with that sling? Why are you talking to him? Show your anger. Cut his head off. Why are you using words?" He said, "I will kill you. And then all these armies of Israel, I will give their bodies to the birds." David also stood. David didn't say, "Oh God, is that how I would die? Who sent me now? How did I carry myself into this battle?" If it were you, most of you, that's what you start saying. Meanwhile, the Bible said that when you see the mountain, you should not dance around it. You should not post about the mountain on Facebook. You should not come to choir to discuss the mountain. The Bible says, speak to it. He didn't even say you should pray about mountains. You have to understand, there were certain things that Jesus met in his journey on earth that he didn't pray about. Or after he has finished praying, he will not speak. That means praying does not take the place of speaking. For instance, he said, "Oh Father, thank you for you have heard me and you always hear me." After finishing with his father, did he stop there? He now turned to the situation. Praying is talking to God. Speaking is talking to situation. Some of the situations you are praying about, you are supposed to be talking to. They are mountains. Be thou lifted up and be thrown into yonder place. The Bible said they will hear you. Never you pray and ascend in the spirit and not come down with speakings. You have wasted the prayer. Because the moment you enter into prayer, into the presence of God, and you are engaging maybe in tongues, in worship, and you ascend. Once you ascend, you take an ascended position. It's called a prophetic position. It means that from where you are now, every other thing looks small to you. It means that you have taken a position of a God. You ask yourself, what will God do when he sees darkness? He will say, "Let there be light." He will not start dancing around. He will speak. So now that you have taken that position of God and you're looking at a situation in your life that has been there for years and you don't know what to do, but you have ascended, what next do you need to do? Speak. That's what it means by Moses, stretch your hand over Egypt. What does that mean? How can I'm inside this room now, and then God said, stretch your hand over this building. What's the meaning of it? You interpret it. Does it make sense? That's where I'm here, and then God is telling me to stretch my hand over this building. Where will I be? It means that I have ascended somewhere. I have ascended above the building, so I can put my hands over it. That was what Moses did in Egypt. That was instruction. Set your hands over Egypt. It simply means that Moses had an ascended position. That was why he could cause havoc in Egypt. And if you don't know, that rod that Moses carried in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, you see where the rod is. It's not that stick. It's here. When you open your mouth, something is going to be damaged. So, what I'm trying to show you is that there are many weapons, 85%, I'm just trying to be conservative, of the weapons that are forged in darkness cannot be effective without what? Tongues. And most of them, tongues are part of the ingredient infused in the process of that formation. What do you call enchantment? You saw Israelites left Egypt, came to the border of Moab, and then King Barak went to call who? Balaam. What was Balaam's assignment? Come and curse them. This is somebody that wants to go to war, and he was supposed to fight a people that don't have an army, slaves for years that just came out seeking for their own land. And this is a country that is structured, that have a military, that should just go and disseminate them. He said, please, first of all, I want to use words to put them in disadvantage. Peradventure, I will be able to overtake them in the war. So why did God allow Balaam to go? Why did God tell him not to go? God already knows that when words are fired, the battle gets fiercer. And even when he decided to go and God allowed him, God met him on the road and said, be sure it's only what I said to you that you say. Do you understand that? Because God knows that immediately this person starts releasing curses, it arms demons. Demons get energized by curses. Angels get energized by blessings. That's why intentionally receive blessings from people. Be intentional about it. I have told you. I'm intentional about people blessing me. And I've told you the kind of people that have the ability to release blessing to you. There's up to 5 categories of person that if you pass by them, take advantage of it. Because in their bowels are the potency to bless. If people are not blessing you, don't worry. Because of this I said, I will come back to it. So he said that every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, that thou shalt what? Condemn. Do not leave it to God. He will not do it. Let me tell you, listen. Do not ask God to do what he has asked you to do. He will not do it. This is some of the salient situations that believers don't understand. They say, why did that thing happen to him? Why it happened to him that he relinquished responsibility that was his back to God. Read the scripture and know what is your responsibility. Tongues rising in judgment against you, you rise up and do what? Condemn those tongues. Now I'm going to say the one you don't like, but I'll still say it. This is the heritage of who? So it's not everybody that they are talking about. So that you are born again, you can't say every tongue that rise up against me, I condemn you in the name of Jesus. When you finish, there are scales. They will check first whether you are among the people they are talking about, whether you are qualified for what you are asking for. Every promises in the Bible have their underlining criterias, so that when it fails, you can actually hold to God and say, you didn't do your part. Before you start saying, I condemned it and it didn't work, first of all, ask yourself, are you an accredited servant? Or you occupy seat in church and gossip about the message? And when they say pray, you shake your head faster than everybody. When you finish, you wonder what happened. What happened is that it's not about. So that means those who have been enrolled in service are authorized to judge and to condemn every tongue that rise up against them. That's the difference. This one has been accredited. So if he senses something, he will enter into his office as a servant of God. He will wear his military regalia and say, I come by my ordination as a servant of God. All you tongues that are speaking in the shrines and altars of demons, I scatter you in the name of Jesus. You know why? A servant of God has angelic assignment. There are angels that don't near you except you are enrolled. I have shown you before that all of us here have, even if you are not born again, you have an angel. You would have died today. The reason God is so good, you don't know how good God is. That an unbeliever, the criminal that is carrying gun, there's an angel that is watching him so that he doesn't die in his sin. Satan doesn't want anyone to be alive to meet Christ. The moment he can kill you, he wants to kill you. He wants to drag everybody down to hell. But the mercies of God is... A doctor in America said, I have received over 1,000 babies born in my lifetime of practicing as a medical doctor. He said, I can assure you, I'm not a Christian, I'm not this and I'm not that, but I can assure you there has been at least one angel each time a baby is born. So anytime a baby is arriving here, an angel leaves heaven and comes there to welcome the baby. Have you noticed that? Let me ask you a question. Samuel fell the other day. So I picked him up and he was fine. Treasure went to sleep on the bed. I don't know why he slept. She slept close to the bed. And it was even, they were chatting with me and she slept up. And I was praying. All of a sudden, she slammed on the ground from the bed. And it was her head. And she cried. I went and picked her up. She slept back and I lay her back. So I was wondering, how do young, small people that fall like this, and nothing happened to them? They don't fast. They don't pray. They don't sow seed. They don't do evangelism. They don't, all those things that somebody's supposed to do to protect himself. In all those things you're doing to protect yourself, they don't do it. How come that nothing? Devil, the easiest time for devil to kill anybody should be when he's still a child, when he's not praying. When he goes to school and jump from one chair to another chair. When they jump rail, you will tell them, come down from there. Before you turn, they've jumped to another one. That was not the easiest time for devil to kill that one before he becomes anything. Are you following what I'm saying now? Now, do you know the scripture? The scripture said that these little ones are assigned a special kinds of angel. Do you know those angels? The Bible said they behold the face of God. Those angels are, their eyes red though. These are special battalions, skilled angels. Have you heard about the carpenters? That means that these ones are multifaceted. They can unravel things and re-unravel it. So that means little children, when they were born, then an angel comes, and the Bible said the kind of angel that is sent to them are this type that behold the face of God. So it's not all angel that stand in the presence of God, and it's not all angel that behold his face. If you remember, when an angel came to Zechariah, one of his anger that Zechariah argued with him, he introduced himself as Gabriel, and that I'm among them that stand in the presence of God. Are you not afraid to talk to me like that? Meanwhile, there are angels that where they draw their strength is by beholding God's face. They are the ones that follow children. So, but as that child starts growing and get to age called accountability stage, where he can make choices and can be held accountable for it. As years go by, I don't know whether in the realm of the spirit, whether it's reducing, but I know that at least from 13 years, maybe 13 years, I hate too much now. Maybe from 10, I don't know. I think you can hold a 10-year-old accountable now. Then that angel is removed. Another one is sent. based on whether that child has accepted the lordship of Christ or not. So another angel is sent, that is a guardian angel. The assignment of that angel is to guide you and protect you and lead you to salvation, lead you to Christ. Send you, bring you to a church where you can hear things that will help you know God. Most times you will be taking decision, you don't know that decision is being influenced by an unknown personality. Sometimes where you want to go, you will not make it if you go. The money that is in your purse, your teeth, your purse will disappear. You will start looking, you will run upstairs to go and borrow money from your friend. Your friend is not around. You will go downstairs to beg the POS person. When I come back, I will give you. He will say, I know they do like that day. And you are angry, you are frustrated, you are angry, you are weeping. You didn't know that an angel just put his head on top of your purse. His leg is on top of your purse. So you look for it. After you now call your friend and say, I'm looking, I can't, it's already, even rain is starting. I can't come out, I can't make it. Then you angrily slept up and woke up and saw the purse just under the bed like that. But the problem is, because the man has a strong will, you can prevail against them. There is a way they will try to show you where to go. Because you are not hearing, it's not like you think you are the one making those decisions. You can still be very strong-willed. I was in a meeting where I was preaching, and I was talking about submission to authority, the role of fatherhood and all that. I was teaching that, and a small girl got up, probably up to 17 years. I wanted to go. Usually I wouldn't bother, but I asked them to bring her back. And she was fine. I said, where are you going? This is like 9 p.m. Pasada in Enugu, and it was raining cat and dog. That girl wanted to enter into that rain to shop right, to go and do beauty pageants. I was sure that something bad was going to happen to that girl. Believe me, I've never been that sure before. I told her, don't go. So, can't you see what I was teaching? You see how the mind to get up, to walk into thick darkness, under rain, by 9 p.m. alone. And the guy is there, she must go. I told them, no problem. Let her go. The people there knew what that means. They went ahead outside her, and they begged her for 1 hour not to go, for 1 hour. Before she would even agree not to go, the service has. So there are people that have strong will like that. That even when there is a hand walking something behind to ensure that they are kept in safety, because of the strength of their will, they will keep violating it and keep moving. Eventually, they will meet their. You see, there are criminals. I've done a lot of prison. You are the criminal will tell you that, child, the day they were captured, even his mind was telling him, don't go. Don't go. Don't. It's as if something was telling him, if you go, it's as I know it, but I don't know why I just come out that. Who was this person telling him not to go? Most of the people that went for their last operation and was killed, some of them dreamt. That night they went and they were shot. They died. In the morning, they say, hey, let's go. They still joined. Something was telling them, don't go. This is how kind God is. This is how good God is. But the moment you give your life to Christ, there's another angel. There's a sign. What you have, if you are born again here, what you have for you is not just a guardian angel that is trying to hide behind your back when you will see demons. No. And when you begin to engage in prayer and divine fellowship, the number of angels that assist you begin to increase. When you enroll in kingdom service, that's what brought me to this place. There is a particular kind of angel that is released for people that are in service based on the kind of service they are. If you are an intercessor, there are different kind of angel there. If you are an evangelist, there are different. If you are based on the one you have been enrolled into, there are different kinds of angels that are assigned to you. That is why you are able to judge tongues that rise up against you. That's why you're able to condemn it. Is that clear? John 12. John chapter 12. I told you that the reason why people don't enjoy their wages because some of them don't know they're entitled to it. So that is idea. So the moment you know that these are your rights, you stand on the ground that you have been enrolled and claim them. It's already your account. Let's start from verse 20. Sorry, verse 26. Oh, Zana in the highest, let the King be lifted high. Hosanna. Look at number. He said, if any man serve me. If what? Any man. It doesn't matter who that person is. If what he's doing is that he's serving God, he said, let him follow my pattern. Let him understand how me to serve my own Father. You don't serve God on your own terms. Of course, we'll come to how to serve God. You don't serve God on the way you feel like, the way you want. No. God has already determined how he should be what? Served. And Jesus had showed us an example of how to serve God. So you don't qualify to be a servant of God except you are following the patterns that Jesus has set. For instance, the Bible says that we are to have grace in serving God because God is what? A consuming fire. That means he's not going to receive any form of service from you. So, if any man serve me, let him follow me. And if so be, he said, where I am, there shall also my what? My servant be. So this is called divine access. Service grants you divine access. It grants you unhindered access into the presence of God. Let me explain. You understand what I mean? Just listen to me now. I travel, I'm preaching, I'm praying, or whatever I'm doing, and I wouldn't take anybody's call. Listen, it doesn't matter who you are. But I left a young teenager at home to take care of, let me say, 6 months old baby for me, or 87-year-old sick woman for me. And while I'm preaching, I see that girl's call. What will I do? Huh? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why am I picking it? Because I love her. Because she's handling something that is important to me. So I don't know why she's calling me. I need to give her attention. I'm praying. I'm in the spirit. Her call comes in. I will pick it and say, what's the problem? It's okay. I just want to know whether you have arrived. Okay, I have arrived. Please don't call me if there is no issues. That means there is a way you get involved with things that are in the heart of God. Anytime they say somebody is knocking, they say, who is that? They say it's Pastor. So please let her come, let her come, let her come. Because each time she's coming, she's bringing the issue about Newi, about the young girls, so she's part of the people. Have you noticed that when the angel arrived in Babylon, the first thing the angel said was not part of the message? He said, "Oh, Daniel, greatly beloved of God." Was it part of the message? That is just salutation. Like the angel arrived and said, "Oh, Hail Mary, thou greatly what? Favored among women." That was not part of the message. That's because this angel is talking from access to secret information of things that happen from control tower. There are no other voices crying in Babylon for the salvation of the people of God except the voice of Daniel. Anytime Daniel lifts up his voice, is about the salvation of Israel. We know you. They are talking about you in the court. That's where I'm coming from. Every time God is talking about Israel in Babylon, it's only your name that comes up. Are you following what I'm saying? We were in camp meeting with is it Apostolic Impact Conference with Apostle Joshua Seman. And we've done the first session in church, I think, and they were supposed to do a session in campus. So while we were doing that morning session in church, the church wouldn't take quite a lot of people, but the ref we're using for evening service was bigger. Yet it couldn't take a lot of people. So people now started telling us that people who would not get access into the church had already started going to ref, and at the ref is almost filled. Do you understand? While we are still in the morning service. Now, a lot of people were worried. Who were the people worried? Ordinary people sitting down. How can I get seats? But there were people that were not worried. Even if they said that they have closed the road, you wouldn't stop me from going in. You won't stop any of the music people, the keyboardists, the drummer, the guitar. They are serving in the meeting. You won't stop any of the ushers. It doesn't matter how filled the hall is. There are dignitaries in the meeting. There are servants in the meeting. They have unhindered access. When they arrive, other people that say, "Please, space, let me pass." There's something I'm doing there. That's how it is. Where I am, my servant will be. Because I will need to hear, we need to collaborate so that he can discharge the duties we have assigned to him. He now said, "If any man serve me," this is the second "if any man serve me" now. What will happen? "Him will my Father honor." So the third I mentioned this morning is what? Honor. Pastor, that is called honor. God can honor a man. I know you will like say, "God, I honor you. Lord, I honor you." Powerful. But I'm showing you that God in turn can honor a human being. He is a king. Everybody is bowing before him. Everybody is giving him honor and praise and blessing and worship. But there are certain persons that even though they honor him, he too in turn will do what? Honor them. What will you look like if God is to honor you? I'll stop there because my time is up. What will you look like? We'll continue next week. We have had an experience of a king honoring a man before. If you go to the scriptures in the book of Esther, there was a man named Mordecai. This man was useful, was serviceable. He was a gatekeeper in Shushan, the palace. And then the king's guard rose up in secret to slay him, and the information was revealed to Mordecai. And Mordecai called attention of Esther, and Esther gave the thing to the king, and the king investigated the matter and found that it was so. In the ancient times, when somebody has done something remarkable in the kingdom, it is put in the chronicles. You know what chronicles? Book of memorials. book of remembrance. That means so that when this king had lived and passed, and generation after him wants to know the remarkable things that happened during his reign, you know where they will go? They will go in the archives of the chronicles, and they will begin to go, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. And when a king seems to be losing touch of history, he also go back to the book of what? Remembrance. Did you remember that where I read for you last week in the book of Malachi, that God himself keeps a book of remembrance? Do you remember? Oh, you don't remember? In the book of Malachi, when he said, you have spoken harshly against me, and you say, what have we so much has spoken against you? You say, you have said that those who dare God, even to his face, escape, and even the proud are lifted on high. He said, but they that fear the Lord spoke among themselves, and God heard them, and the book of remembrance was opened in his presence. That means when you do certain good things, God does not immediately reward you. He puts it in the book of remembrance for a day to come. The Bible said, in the day I name my jewel, he said, you shall be mine, saith the Lord. That means it was recorded for a day to come. Oh, something people you're seeing today, what they are enjoying now, is as a result of what was written for them some years ago. You didn't get what I said. Did you remember that when the angel met a man called Cornelius, who the Bible said was a devout man? Do you understand? That the man feared God, and the man prays always. While he was fasting and praying, the Bible said an angel of the Lord, being caused to come to him swiftly, saluted him. You know what the angel said? He said, your prayers, your alms and your prayers had appeared to God as what? A memorial. In other words, I didn't come because you are praying. I came because you have prayed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now? The reason why I came is as a result of what you have done, not even as a result of what you are doing. How many of you are getting what I'm saying? That was why when the angel came to Zechariah, the angel said to Zechariah, listen. The angel said to Zechariah, he said, your prayer has been what? Answered. Zechariah said, which one? I'm old. I've forgotten about having a child. It was a prayer for a child that Zechariah prayed when he was younger. But it was written in the book of what? Remembrance. And one day, it was remembered. So when that act was written in the book of remembrance and kept. Are you following me? So, one day, there has been a plan. God knows the day to remember you. The day the value will be highest in price. You will remember. You better have this written on your account there. Because the day you cry, there must be. Nehemiah was doing things. When each one he does, he will say, Lord, remember me. And if you remember a man called Hezekiah, is it Hezekiah? That they told to put his hand together. That the time for death to be gathered with his fathers had arrived. You know what the prophet that spoke was Isaiah. Am I correct? And Isaiah was not a small prophet. If you look at the Bible, there are major and minor prophets. Isaiah was a major. He doesn't come to tell story. He brings the word of God. And then yet, after Isaiah has spoken, this man says, sir, are you done? He said, okay, I know you're a servant of God. No problem, you can go. Let me tell you, the prophecy is not a problem. It's where you stand. That's where the issue is. So as soon as Isaiah left, the man turned his face to the wall. What do you behold when you look at the wall? Nothing, no other option. When somebody say, I'm looking at the wall, it means I'm left without any other option. It's either God shows up or he shows up. And he told God, you must show up. Why will you show up? On one ground. Remember, oh God, how I served you. God, Bible says he's not forgetful to forget your labor of love. He will not. The day you say, remember, oh God. Why your life is like this? Question, are there things God supposed to remember? Or are you just hoping that one day he will just come for you? So remember, how that we close our account as students and put the money in the missions. Remember that we wore one trouser and one shirt for 3 years so that we could support a movement that had your name on it. And now you're in a situation where they say, okay, we don't need people that, if you are not from Anambra, you are not needed. Say, oh God, remember. Let me tell you, there are reasons why things are overruled for people. It's not only just because God is God. He's a just God. So don't just say he's God, he's just. So if he's doing it for this person, he's not doing it for this person. Don't think that's because he doesn't love you. No. So you see what happened? He said the king was distressed that day because the life of Mordecai was at stake. This guy had planned to kill the Jews, but he said, I can't wait till the time we have finished the killing of the Jews. I want to kill Mordecai first. If there I come out of the palace and I see him, my soul vests inside of me. So he has already raised the gallows where he want to hang Mordecai. He was just waiting to come for a party that Esther had called. So that when he finished eating and drinking, he will now go and kill Esther's foster father on the gallows. But God was watching. A servant, his life was at stake. And so the king will not sleep. He said, go and bring the book of remembrance. They went and brought the book of remembrance. And as he was going through, he now saw that there was a man called Mordecai who revealed the secret plan against his life. He now called the king's chamberlain. He said, come. He said, what has been done to that man? The answer was what? Nothing. Sister, listen. You may think that what you have done in the time past, the reward is nothing. It's nothing. It's not nothing. It is written. Nothing is not equal to written. Nothing means nothing. Written means for future visitation. Pastor, do you hear what I said? They said nothing. And is it normal? Let's even use Nigeria. If a person misplaced 1 million naira in church, for instance, and an usher picks it and return it back to the person, will that person collect and say thank you? Even if it's not the person's money, he will say, okay, even if 1,000, I will go and borrow it. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Now, do you think it's normal that somebody saved the life of the king and nothing was done? God is not a scam, believe me. Don't how many years? It's as if God. No, don't worry. He said nothing. We have to do something now. And as he was saying that, he heard the footsteps of Haman in the other room. He said, who is there? They say it's Haman. He said, let him come very fast. He's a high-ranking officer, the most high-ranking officer of the kingdom. He said, let him come in. And he came in and said, live forever, O king. He said, yes, I don't do salutation now. There's an emergency. He said, what would the king want from me? He said, what would the king do for a man whom the king desire to what? Honor. If a king wants to honor a man, what will he do for that man? You are a high-ranking officer. You are intelligent. You know certain things. I'm asking you, if a king wants to honor a man, what will he do for him? Haman said, who will the king want to honor in this man? I am the most active, influential officer of the kingdom. If there is anybody that is due for honor, is me. So let me give prescription to the letter. He said, this is what the king will do unto the man whom he desired to honor, is to get a house that the king is known for. They want, you know, when there is presidential entourage, you know the one that the president is inside. He said, bring that one. Then let that man that the king delights to honor sit on it. Then choose the highest ranking officer in the kingdom. Let him go and announce to all the cities of the province that this is what the king delighted to do unto him that he honors. The king said, ooh, that's right. He said, now go now, fast. You are the highest ranking person. Now go. So take Mordecai and do the same thing. No, just imagine how Emma would have felt that day. So what does it mean? It means that a man that serves God, and the Bible said God will honor him. Pastor, it means that you have the smell of God. That thing that happens to people when God comes, when you come, the thing will happen. People sometimes will mistake, are you sure you're a human being? Because the way God acts, if God comes, people get healed. When you come, people get healed. The same horse that God rides is what you'll be riding. That means God will take some of his honor and put it on you. And grant you a privilege, benefit in the kingdom. That's what makes a man of God comes for a program. It's not because he's so powerful. It's that he has honor with God. We don't know what that means. To be anointed is different from being honored. You can be anointed because you are a fire fasting. But to be honored is not even based on your prayer and your fast. And it simply means that the little things you do are magnified. Let me tell you, there are certain things people manifest. Don't try to compete with them, because that kind of manifestation, Pastor, that is only possible as an honor from God. You think a human being can pass and see an animal that had accident crush and gather it and say, oh, little bear, and then the bone gathers together and things that you can't pray yourself into that thing. You can't come to a grave of somebody that's been dead for 4 days and stand outside and say, come and meet me here, and a person comes out tied. You can't pray yourself. It's not his prayer. Is an honor that God bequeaths to a man. Do you know what it means? People are doing camp meeting and somebody comes out and say, sir, rice has finished. He said, keep cooking the rice, people must be eating, and people are eating the camp meeting finished. How do you enter into that economy? Somebody is building house, building a cartel. They say, sir, materials has finished. Say, which material? Keep building. And they are entering and they are bringing out material. From where? That I'm not just talking about somebody having power and display. I'm talking about God honoring the voice of a man. If he says it, that's what happened to Abraham. God was talking to him about Isaac. Abraham said, oh, let Ishmael live in thy presence. He said, okay, I'm not talking about Ishmael, but because you have said it, I will make him great. 12 princes will come out of him. Was it God's plan? No. Imagine what you can do as a result of honoring a man. You may imagine it. When you see a man that is honored in ministry, you will look for the secret of his result. You can't find it. Even him will be telling story. Don't see his telling is not it. God is honoring him. He's teaching keys, he's teaching you principles, akoko. He doesn't know where the result is coming from. His honor, God has bestowed on him. There's something called the honor of the Lord. When the Lord delights in a man, delights in a servant, he honors him. Bow down your heads. Talk to him. Say, Lord, I don't know what this honor is all about, but Lord, I think I want it. I think I want it. The honor of the Lord. Elotomino sina avele tutekembala broko seka palada komenina sai. Ateboro boshata kimasusa brande kebelele tosoko braka papakatos. Atita abalate kosobra abalagadi. Oga babalagana baba. Adebosoba. Just 2 minutes, Lord. Lead me to that part that leads to honor. Show me as a kingdom agent, as a kingdom servant. I need a reward of honor. Oh, that's what I want. Honor, Lord. Honor. Kaba, Bobo, Sinapati Kambra. I give you 1 more minute. Just pray in the spirit, Lord. Shaka Palatas. Shikababaka Sokobelegedes. Honor is a currency in the spirit. Katuata, Pelata, Brata. When God honors a man, things gravitate towards that person. Before he knocks on a door, the door opens by itself. His name becomes a key. They say, Pastor Emeka sent me. Pastor Emeka, woo! People will begin to honor the same person. Not just because of him, but because God has bestowed honor. And it doesn't matter your age. If you serve God and attract honor from him, you will not only be honored by men will honor people because of you. Pray again. Lolo boko saka palata. Azete bele kambra kapalatas. Jikata sombre kebalagados. Sabalatina balada sikampalagadadas. Epatwa tampali kambrata sele kebenete sele kampaya. Atomina sambra kampalagatemina sombra kapalatas. Akapabona sekempele kambra kapalatas. Etete kimpalata kambra kampalakatas. Zampala tampalata zampalata ete kompala kata moboko sikampala kadas apa akambaba banta akambra. Remember me, oh God. Are there things that are supposed to be remembered in your family? Maybe something your father did, maybe something your mother did some years ago. Are there things that has been forgotten? Are there things that has been written that nothing has been done and the family is suffering? Oh, remember me, oh God. Remember me, oh God. Some of you have served God. Some of you have put in your time, your energy, your finance. You have gone extra mile for the kingdom, but it looks like God has not taken note, even though there is a writing in his book. Oh God, this day we ask for remembrance. Amalele temena kosale asopata kambalata atekempele ketekembalata. There is a reward that is not just about prayer, that's about what a man has contributed.